Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTRL. Season 12 hits the halfway stage, and round 6 is being brought to you live from the Mexican Grand Prix. We've got a switch up in the commentary tonight with a switch back. So joining me tonight on comms is Zach. Good evening, Zach.
Evening.
How are we?
Excited to watch some more F1 action. I've got a feeling penalties could decide a lot in this race, so it's probably, I think it could be quite a close one this evening.
Indeed. We're going to expect some interesting strategies. Of course, the circuit famous for this very long straight, which is obviously going to provide a fantastic run for the drivers at the start as they all try and get through the first chicane. Okay, bound to be some thrills and spills in that, and currently watching one other person who's a bit of a magnet for thrills and spills, FTRL Cat, back this week. How do we think he's going to do this week?
I mean, if he manages to keep it clean for the first few corners, you'll be alright. But one thing I will say, this was what happened to me last season we did this race, was because it's quite a long run into turn 1, it can get quite tight through turn 2, which is quite an awful corner to be quite tight through. I mean, we were 4 wide last time, and I was the one that got put on the grass, but it's something you need to watch out for in this because it gets very, very tight into turn 2, turn 3 around here.
Indeed, that first chicane very now then. So Cat starting his lap, and he's greeted as 3 cars come out of the pit lane. 2 of them have got out of his way. Onto the podium has not. He does now move out of the way. Hopefully that won't have cost him too much time. So attacks the first chicanes, all quite nice and tidy through there. DRS pops open here. A lot of long straights here, so expecting some good overtaking manoeuvres into the heavy braking zones. I'll come through these niggly little chicanes that are very just slow and just take forever to get round, and you just aching to get back on the power. Now he's coming through into this long sweeping section of long left and right handers, a speed building, but you've got to make sure you clip the apexes. All looking neat and tidy so far, not running too wide there. Coming now into the baseball grounds. Of course, the circuit used to go around the outside, now it cuts through the middle to give the fans this quite unique experience. All nice and tidy so far. Out the final corner, trying not to do with Valtteri Bottas. And across the line, Cat sets the benchmark a 1:15.5 at the first flying lap. So for the eagle-eyed amongst you in the crowd, we've got 2 new drivers on the grid tonight. One is here permanently, that is try and pronounce this, Iam Pun Varjosti in the Toro Rosso. He's replaced Rom Elson, who's decided enough is enough. He's not enjoying F1 anymore, so he's called time on his F1 career. And filling in as a replacement for this week, we've got CJ Slicks back, an FTRL stalwart from seasons past. He's filling in, of course, quite contentiously for one of our title contenders who's missing this week, Bran Glover. Second in the championship. This is a very big opportunity for current leader Danny and man third in the championship Felix, who's currently on pole position, to really open up a bit of a gap between themselves and Bran.
Yeah.
So Bran's going to have a lot of work to do over the second half of the season to see if he can catch back up, because I expect those 2 to be there or thereabouts.
We've got Max is very committed to watching FTRL. As he's put in the chat, he's watching live from about 28,000 foot in the air. That's what we call commitment.
That is dedication. The man was having a beer the other day when he joined one of the the GT Sport chat. The first thing he posted was a can of Stella.
Yeah, I saw that.
So let's pick up CJ then. So interestingly, CJ's gone out on the hard tyre. There's 3 people out on the hard tyre currently.
Oh, Hijack's retired.
No, oh god, dear. Hijack then has gone off in the flowing section there, just coming out before the baseball ground. It looks like he's lost it on the last part of that there. So unfortunately, Hijack likely to be starting down the back of the grid. It's not really happened for him this season so far. Started really well by winning the pre-season event at Silverstone, but has not been able to replicate that look or form so far. And now he's got a lot of work to do from the back of the
Oh,
grid.
oh, T Smith's got a 5 blue square penalty. He's
Oh dear, he's
petting
collected with
next
Nexus
station.
Iceman. Where have they come together? Where are
Next
they on
station was in
track?
the pits. I'm confused.
Unless they're both going into the pits, perhaps? That's all I can think of.
Possibly. Hmm.
That's an interesting one.
It is. Got to my F3's time looks very good.
I say he's really come on leaps and bounds this season. He's been around FTRL for a while, but was never really anything special. Pagani's now gone as well.
One thing we need to watch out for the new driver is set a 16.4 in the hard tyre, which it, compared to Panda set his time on the mediums and he was a 16.3. So if we're comparing it to over Panda, that's quite a good time.
That's a very good time indeed. I say, yeah, only correct for the tyre compounds. He's also very close to IRL Neon, who's a 16.4 on the soft tyre as well, so we shall see, although he is actually in the pit, so he may have just fitted that on the tyre. I don't know what time he's actually set his time on.
Again, he's doing as usual. He's retired and he's going to be starting from the back.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to avoid a lot of the trouble. And like we say, this long run down into the first couple of corners does invite a very big gaggle of cars, all trying to go for a very narrow entrance into turn 1 and 2. So staying at the back might be advisable.
Oh, Danny's invalidated his lap, so he's back into the pits. He was saying he wasn't a particular fan of this track in the chat earlier, so I'm not sure if he's struggling a little bit.
So what have we got at the moment?
Is Eddie Freeze on? Is he on?
No, he's already done 2 laps on his hard tyres, so he's getting the laps in.
Yeah, he's looks like he's gone for
He's
it.
going around again. 17.4. That's his current fastest lap. It's down in 14th. So we're seeing a bit of mix of strategies here. All 3 tyres are being tried. And does that... I can't remember what the strategy is around here. I think it is a one-stopper.
Usually, I mean, I think, as far as I'm aware, it's a one-stopper. But quite a few people, I remember last season, did do a 2-stop. I think I was one that actually did a 2-stop. It just depends how your tyres are. I don't think there's a massive amount of difference between them. It just depends on your driving style.
Indeed, as I say, mine is quite aggressive on my tyres, so I think I might be 2-stopping tomorrow. If that is, of course, provided I don't need a wing change and have to do it anyway. But we shall see. Max wants to know why Rom is not playing tonight. Max Rom has retired from Formula 1 racing, unfortunately. So he will no longer be gracing our screens on Tuesdays, but you will get to hear his sultry Belgian tones on Wednesday on comms for Div 2. And of course, he is still part of the FTRL GT Sport Division, which is heading into its penultimate couple of rounds this coming Friday. And then looking forward to Season 7 now, just a few weeks away. We'll be back streaming live. I think you're commentating on what is League 1 in GT Sport from next season. And of course, you'll be back part of Div 2 of GT Sport as we expand like a fat man's waistline at Christmas.
Yes,
or my waistline at
a
Christmas.
lot more GT Sport.
A lot more GT Sport.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to commentating. Quite missed it this season.
Yeah,
but
I say it's
kinda
nice
want
to
get
have.
used to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I say you put in some good results there. I think you did very well at Big Willow. You had a good race there, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's very much depending on the track for me. And practice that for that track. I quite enjoyed Blue Moon Speedway as well. So I mean, there are tracks that I did quite well on. I just kind of struggled with the Group 3 for a while, but hopefully with my Toyota, should be.
Spoiler alert there. Thanks for revealing his car choice for next season. On board with I am Pun Viosti as he comes out of the final corner. Quite considerably up on his current time. He goes P4. It's a solid lap there from him. Throws himself into the mix. I think we probably need to pick up current championship leader. After all, Danny's on a flying lap then, so he's coming through into the sweeping section now. On a hot streak of form, the only repeat winner so far in FTRL in Season 12. 3 wins and a bounce, 3 pole positions on a bounce. Comes into the stadium section there, a little bit wide. Oh, T. Smith has retired from the session now as well. That's a ZE3. It looks like they've retired in pit lane though. Standing out at the final corner. And he sets a 14.5 P2, so just misses out on pole position.
I've just seen Junkie Sport put in a joke in the chat. Because Max was cheering on hijack. And he just put, Max, I hope you haven't just shouted up, come on hijack while you're 28,000 foot up in the air. Yeah.
Definitely not advisable. Do not do that.
Well, our new guy is P6 at the moment, so that's not bad at all.
Solid job from him. Still waiting for CJ to set a representative time. He is on his way. F3 appears to be on a flying lap. So he's CJ coming out the pits. F3 into turn 1 then. So the man who's been on the podium every round this season, the only man to hold that record. Won the opening round in Canada and has been P3 every race since. Danny's hot streak of form, 3 wins and 3. We've just seen him open up a little bit of a gap over Bran, and F3 just a couple of points further back, so Felix will do, obviously he'll take a couple of points back off Danny if he can hold on to pole position. So that comes into the sweeping section, out to the curb. He's coming up to the end of sector 2. How is his split time? Nice and tidy.
Very nice.
He's just slightly down though. 24 thousandths down currently.
Yeah, he lost about 10 from the first sector, so getting a bit back.
Pulls them back. Can he do in this final section then? Onto the power drives for the line. Does he improve? He does not. 6 thousandths of a second there, so two lap times that would have put him on pole position there. He does not improve overall. Now we'll drop to the back and we'll pick up CJ, who's starting a flying lap on the soft tyre. To turn 1 he comes, so far yet to set the time. He'll be the last one to set a time of those who can. He's got a couple of cars up the road ahead of him though, which you could probably do without. The track's fairly clean at the moment, and he's just come out on the only bit of track with some cars on it, so it's not ideal. Hopefully they will get out of his way. Sweeping into the sweeping section. He comes out a little bit wide there through the first part. He's gathered it all up again. Nice and tidy there, not using too much curb. This will be his first flying lap, so we don't know where he's up or down. Williams there getting us away a little bit wide there in the first part of the stadium section. Williams gets right out of the way. Into the final corner. Oh, he's still on an outlap. Oh no, he's not. He's on P11. There we go. He just told me he was on an outlap. That was really weird.
It said that, but I didn't want to interrupt just in case it wasn't on an outlap. But I was
like, I'm sure I saw him start the lap, and then I got really talked myself out of that one. Apparently, there we go. Well, the game is continuing to confuse me,
as always.
So into the final 4 minutes, F3 continues to hold pole position ahead of FTRL Danny with FTRL Panda P3, Nexus Aspect P4, IRL Neon is 5th, I am Punvar Yosti, I'll probably flow more as I say it, currently P6 on debut, with Nexus Iceman in P7, Cat on his return P8, City Posh P9, and onto the podium currently rounds out the top 10. So everybody now has done a run on the soft tyres. Casa G down in 14th place. Now we know he's proven a couple of times this season he can storm through from the back, but if he can start a little bit further forwards, he's definitely one to consider for the race win. He was excellent here last season until he got a very late race puncher.
I
he was a victim of a. I think he got a. I think he was a victim of Cat last season at the start of F2.
Most people have.
I think everybody's had a turn at that. Yes. Who have we got? There we go. So
Our new man is 2 attempts up through sector 1. He's now 7 attempts up through sector 2. He's on course for pole on his debut.
He's just shy, I think. Maybe just shy. He's going to be close. Here he comes. If you can find any more time, he was there. He's very close to F3's time. And he goes. P2. Oh, 1/100th of a second between them. Just missing out there. That's a fantastic effort there on his debut. He's put himself on course for a very strong result there. Max has just said hijack for a top 3, but he said the word in silence. He's learning. Well done, Max. Apparently his neighbour asked me if Lewis Hamilton is in this race tonight. No, he's not. Although I think the closest person we've got to Lewis is probably Casa G. But there we go. So to the final minute then, with a lot of guys on out laps. Got Panda on a flying laps. Let's pick him up.
Come up to a lot of cars in a place you don't really want to come up to cars.
It's a very busy track now. He's got 3 or 4 ahead of him. There's got a bit of a gap though, so he should be okay. Although they are trying to sort themselves out. Where is he as he comes to the end of sector 2? He is 1/2 tenth down. Now the traffic's ahead of him though. Are they going to get out of the way? Oh, not really. No, he's bailed out. He's not going to be happy with that. Mercedes and the Ferrari getting in his way. That does put an end to Panda's flying lap, unfortunately. So let's pick up some of the guys who are. We've got IRL Neon. And has he got Nexus Cats with him? He has indeed. I think he's got Nexus Cats. Yeah, so we've got a Ferrari, a Mercedes and a Ferrari all running very close together. Cat in front. IRL Neon behind. Nexus Cats behind him. So they're all running a little bit too close together. Let's see how they get on. Cat is 1/2 tenth down. Brutus Beer is P9. So he stays P9. He's the first one to finish. Iceman has not made out in time either, so he pits. Kasagi goes P5. So put himself into contention. We've got Spinner, sector 1, one of the Red Bulls. Was it City Posh? It doesn't appear to be going very quickly. Danny is on a flying lap, so let's keep up with the championship leader. Can he make it 4 poles in a row? It's again telling me he's on an out lap. I'm pretty sure he's not. Oh, he's gone very wide there though. Cat has put himself into P6. I suspect says P7. F3 does not improve. What does Danny do? Does not improve, so Danny only P3 this time. So it's somewhere to go when you'd be disappointed with P3.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody. Yep, everybody over the line. So F3 takes pole position. As he bids to A close down on Danny and B open up a gap to Bran. He started off in perfect fashion. So F3 on pole position with I Am Punvarosti. P2 on debut. FTRL Danny, championship leader, starts P3 alongside FTRL Panda in the racing points. PMP Casa G going off P5 alongside FTRL Cats with Aspect, Neon, Iceman and onto the podium rounding out the top 10. They are of course all starting on the tyres they've qualified on, and they're all starting on the softs. And everybody else will run down as they go around on the formation lap. They can get free choice of tyres from here on out. So there's the grid. Let's start with the podium prediction from, open it up to the chats, but come to you Zach while we wait for the guys in the chat to come up with some. What's your podium prediction for Mexico?
I'll go for F3 to win. I'll go for Cassie G to beat P2, and I will P3. I'll go for Aspect.
Interesting, right? I'm going to go for a. See, this new guy, I just don't know what he's like. So I don't know. It's hard to judge somebody when you've quick and qualifying, but I don't know what he's going to be like in the race. I'm going to go for a Kasagi victory with I am Vayosti P2 and F3 P3. So that's mine. We've got a very drunk Zom giving a running commentary on CJ's goings on in the chat there. Obviously CJ and Zom good friends outside of FTRL. I'm very happy to see his friend back. So the Mexican Grand Prix grid, round 6 of season 12, and on pole is F3 in the Williams. Also they launched their new livery this week, and it's a resounding favourite of a lot of us. What do you think of the new livery, Zach?
It's much better than the old one. I mean, they've clearly changed toothpaste brands. And they've got Aquafish, but I mean, I really like it, especially
Yeah.
as a result.
So it definitely looks a lot better than I'd say just a bit of red, and I think they could have done a bit more blue down the side of the nose, but other than that, spot on. So well done to the guys at Williams for that one. P2 then is I am Vayosti on his debut in FTRL, replacing Rom Elson. So Rom, that's what your car could have done if you'd been any good. Shots fired. FTRL Danny, championship leader, goes off P3. His run of poles has been ended. Will his run of race victories continue though? He starts P3 alongside FTRL Panda and P4. Looking for a good result there. PMP Casa G in the McLaren P5 ahead of FTRL Cats. Put himself in the mix with a P6 qualifying. Nexus Aspect P7 ahead of IRL Neon in the Mercedes. Second McLaren of Nexus Iceman is P9, and onto the podium starts P10. Let's get the telemetry up and see what tyres everybody's running on behind them. P11's Brutus, he starts on the medium tyre. He's ahead of City Posh in the second Red Bull, also on the mediums. Nexus Cats P13, good qualifying from him. Starting on the medium tyres, as is CJ, filling in for Brand this week in the Haas. Pagani starts on the medium in P15. He's counting down the days till he can bin this game. You've seen him in the chats. TNR's Eddie3 P16 on the medium tyre, with Hijack starting on the soft tyre P17, and T Smith after his penalty for a collision we didn't see. He starts 18th and last. So I'm going to put the camera on FTRL Cat because you know he's good for some action. So Junkie Sport quickly in the chat then, he reckons the new guy for the win. Danny second and F3 third. Pagani in the points or the wall. I'll let Pagani choose which one of those he chooses. We've got 4 lights, we've got 5 lights. And the Mexican Grand Prix is go. And it's a good start from Cat and from Casa G. They've both leapfrogged Panda off the line. Panda going backwards, he's down to 7th. I've got a very long camera shot. 4 wide, 5 wide into turn 1. Danny gets there first. He goes deep though. F3 going to cut underneath him. Side by side, Casa G's up to P3. And F3 escapes, but he's got a train behind him already. Down to the inside, looks better off at Casa G. Behind the man, next Aspects up to P4. Battling side by side with I am Vayosti. He's got ahead of him. Great start from Aspect. So the big losers in that then are I am Vayosti and Panda, gone down 3 and 4 places respectively. Up to the podiums, down 5 as well. Hijacked up 4, starting on the soft tyre amongst the medium runners. You'd expect him to make some moves. Casa G has leapfrogged Danny. I was watching the pack further back behind. We've got Cat and Neon side by side. Cat holding him off, and now Panda trying to recover. just going backwards down the ladder as well. And the back up one again.
Ganning onto the podium of battle.
Battle of the admins down the field. Under the Claydon down 6 places already. Turn 1, Casa G holds off Danny, who holds off Aspect. And Variosti behind them, keeping a watching brief. He's got a bit of a gap between himself and Aspect, and then a bit of a gap between himself and Cat behind him. But yellow flag, turn 1. Is that Pagani round? Is it Pagani and T. Smith as well? They both dropped off the back there. Possibly some contact.
Oh, CG's off.
Oh no.
Hijack's got Brutus. That was in the sector one. Brutus has just missed this. He's messed up the S's massively. It's got all sideways.
You can see push. He's going to have a look at the insides. Behind them, onto the podium. Retake CJ. P14.
You mess up that first turn with the S's, then you can't even get it all wrong.
Meanwhile, F3, having held off the advances of Danny into turn 1 and snatched it back into turn 2, he's now built himself a bit of a buffer.
Neon's overtook Cat.
Side by side into 1, Cat fights it around the outside. You don't get anything for free off FTRL Cat. Neon does it well. Cat's gone very wide there. And that's brought Panda into the mix as well. And 3 wide again. Oh!
Oh, CJ's retired.
And CJ's into the pits and he's retired unfortunately. Silent Neon and Cat continuing to battle. Cat around the outside. Gets the place back. Good battling, but now look at the gap that's opened up in front of them there. That's 2.5 seconds. They've suddenly lost to the guys in front. All this squabbling. CJ has retired, but his car has continued on its way. F3 is your race leader, Casa G, closing in though. Stadium section is a bit wide there through that hairpin. Top 3, all about 6 tenths of gold. Nexus Cats picked up a penalty already there. So top 5 have broken away slightly, and we've got F3 leading now, just under a second. Not out of DRS range yet. Danny P3 at DRS open, but Casa G's got it from F3, so it holds him off. Well, Neon has taken the position back from Cat though into P6. And they're keeping a watching brief behind them. Iceman and Hijack. The Hijack's already up 7 places then. It's a great start from him. And Neon a bit of a weave there. He's trying to put heat in his tyres, or is he telling Cat he's unhappy with something? Further back we've got Brutus Beer, Nexus Cats onto the podium, nose to tail. And Hijack's picked up a penalty as well, so already the penalties coming through thick and fast. Aspect has got Iron Pun by Yosti right over the back of him there. Oh, gee, that was close. Going in hot there. Now Casa G is out of DRS range, but FTRL Danny is definitely not. Open the wing. Going to be an easy pass. FTRL Danny up into P2. In the background, Aspect now having to defend as well. Here comes Iron Pun by Yosti. Side by side through 1. I think he's held him off. Cat gets Neon. Panda goes to... Oh! Iceman there. Almost collected Panda. News is out to Hijacked. Just saw a puff of tyre smoke there as he went straight on. Almost speared into the side of the racing point. And we've been watching that. Casa G has retaken P2 from Danny. So they've got the DRS down the second straight. Bit of a queue forming behind Cat now. We've got 5 for the lead, and then a 5 for 6th through 10th. And then 2.8 seconds back to City Posh in P11. Can he do anything about the guys ahead of him? This is one of the medium shot runners. They're going to be running a slightly alternate strategy. Neon looks at the inside of Cat. Coming into the stadium section, thinks better of it. There goes. Oh. Constantine, Cat's a little bit wide there. Oh, switch back at Iron Neon. Gets it done and hijack behind him, going around the outside of Panda through the stadium section. Side by side as they come out of the final corner. They're all going to have DRS. Except for Iron Neon, who won't because he's in the lead. We've got 2 wide already, 2 by 2. Iceman watching from behind.
Panda, oh god.
Fan out. Iceman again coming in hot. Hijack goes around the outside of Panda.
Cat was round there. God.
Neon and Brutus, sorry, Neon and Cat touch and hijacked. Picks up 3 places.
Neon Cat locks.
Fantastic work there. Oh, 3 wide again as they come into the next one. Cat and Neon side by side again. Now Panda on the outside of Neon. Neon's now going backwards. And all this battling has brought City Posh right onto the back of this grid. That was 2 seconds a minute ago. This is now a 6-car train. Panda gets the overtake done. Iron Neon goes from 6th to 9th in a matter of corners. And we're up ahead of us. Danny has taken P2 and Iron Punvayosti has taken P4. It changes ahead of us, but this fantastic battle. Hijack now scarpering, or trying to. Cat continues to hold up the train behind him. So one Red Bull livery car makes a breakaway. Another one has joined the back of this train. And into the pits comes Iron Neon. Did he pick up wing damage? All of that. No, he's literally just getting off his tyres. So the soft tyres not lasting very long here. He's onto the hard tyres. Casa G picks up a penalty. ZE3 also in the pits. I think he may have picked up some damage there because he's on the medium tyres, so he shouldn't be stopping yet.
That's it.
Panda at the inside. Oh, there was a bit of contact there. Rubbing Cat really leaning on Panda. Panda's getting him right around the outside. Slams the door in his face. So you have to work to overtake FTRL Cat. He's back at his aggressive best this week. Very wide there though. In between the lines, please, Cat.
I've seen quite a few people doing that so far.
I'd say it's a slightly agricultural line on the back. So the soft tyres not lasting very long around here. That's why they are looking at a 2-stop race. And we can switch to the. What's he going on to? G goes on to the. He's back on the soft again, so he's definitely 2-stopping. He's got all the way down to P15. Right behind Pagani, you've got Katz and T. Smith in the foreground there. T. Smith down the inside of Katz into 1. Just ahead of there onto the podium. Meanwhile, for the lead, it is the 2 familiar faces this season. F3 leading, Danny in giving chase. We've now got a 3.7 second gap back to Iron Punvayosti, who's back in P3. Still got Nexus Aspect for company though. And hijacked from 17th on the grid up to P5. He's had a storming first stint. He's put himself right into contention for a strong result. So top 2 continuing for another lap. Have not responded to PNP Casa G's strategy, but Iron Punvayosti is in P3. That releases Aspects. Jack stays out, obviously his teammate in the pits. Cat is in the pits as well. Onto the podium pits as well. Cat's gone onto the hard tyre. Punvayosti onto the mediums. Onto the podium. His tyre got to change, he's gone to the medium tyre as well. Well, he was talking himself down again in the chat earlier on. After all, Danny is right in the mix for the race victory again. What can he do? Got some in the chat going 3 wide with Cat of brave men. Yes, very, very brave man goes 3 wide with Cat involved. But they've all thought themselves out. Oh, Danny's wide and into the wall!
Danny. Oh God almighty, that was well wide. I don't know what he done there. That was...
He damaged his wing. He's taken the end plate off.
It was like he didn't turn in.
I think his tyres have definitely cried enough. Is he going to pit? He does. So Danny pits. And that may well have handed the race win to F3. He's definitely put him... He's going to lose a bit of time here. He's going to change his wing. He pits immediately onto the hard tyre, so he's going for the 1 stop.
One thing we didn't have was Cassidy in P3.
He was in P3 when he stopped, yes. But he was right on Danny's tail. Cassidy's just set the fastest lap of the race. And you can see it's cleared Danny quite comfortably. In the background we've got Brutus and T. Smith side by side going into turn 1. T. Smith up into P7. Brutus looks for a cut back. Through the first part, they're going to get a run down the second straight. T. Smith seemed to get a good exit there. With the medium behind him. After his pit stop. He's also cleared Danny, so Danny's come out 4 seconds behind. Kind of getting out of the way there. Yosti up into P9. Danny, after that pit stop, is P11. And what does F3 do? Does he pit this lap? He does indeed, so F3 race leader into the pits. Aspect behind him, he carries on. His Aspect's becoming a bit of a tyre management master, to be honest. We've seen him run some very long stints on tyres that probably shouldn't go as long as they do. Hijack pits from P3. Panda also continuing on his way, so Panda getting good tyre life. Casa G has cleared F3. So the undercut has worked, but F3 is onto the hard tyre, so he's going to the end. T. Smith coming up, herring behind him. Not quite close enough then to 1 behind them. Brutus just holds off Iron Pun Vayosti.
I've seen last week Brutus. No, it wasn't last week. It was a few weeks ago. Brutus was quite good at.
Oh, T. Smith had a moment. Actually dropped right off the back of F3. And now we've got a battle of alternate strategies going on. We've got Cassidy on the 2-stopper, and we've got F3 on the 1-stop. Cassidy is ahead of F3, which could be critical to this strategy. He's on the soft tyre again, so he's going to have to go onto the mediums or the hards yet. Now he needs to build a gap. He's just past City Posh. P3. City Posh on the mediums. Yet to make a pit stop. As Panda pits from P2. Aspect continue on for another lap. I'll put Cassidy back into P2.
Once again, Brutus is managed to hold up our new guy on I can't even say his name. Do you know what? I'm just going to say new guy. For the rest of it. He's been called new guy by me.
Danny has got a charge and now he's starting to close in on Pagani. Looking to P9, some of the pit stop shakeout. Tyres. Getting good tyre life aspects. We've seen that a bit of a trait of him this season. So a few guys run very long on their tyres. Going Bran on the opening round at Canada. Does he pit this lap? Yes, he does. So Aspect pits.
We're going to come out and see behind Yanni.
Yeah, I think. You can see how much time he's lost to Danny, because obviously Danny had that extra time in the pits. So the gap was about 3 or 4 seconds when Danny pitted. Train down the straight. Pagani, Danny, and Brutus. Yes, he's just come up behind those three. Danny to the inside of Pagani. Brutus to the inside of the pair of them. He's cleared Pagani. Is he going to have a go at Danny as well? No, he does not. Pagani fighting Brutus. He holds on. Pagani losing out to Danny, but holds off Brutus for now. Should both get DRS down the straight. Pagani going defensive. Brutus to the outside. Goes side by side into the next chicane. Brutus gets it done. Pagani with the switch back. Doesn't quite have the traction, or does he? He does. The inside. Oh!
Aspect. Oh god, that's...
Aspect into the side of Brutus as he tries to get through there. An opportunistic move. Didn't quite come off. Hijack picks up another penalty there. He just dropped in behind Aspect. So he's bridged that gap. As Hijack's gone back onto the soft tyre, so he's another one on the two-stop strategy. Aspect to the outside of Brutus. Hijack's right there with him now, and now Hijack's having a look at the inside of Aspect. Soft tyre versus hard tyre. You'd expect him to get it done. Aspect fights him off though. Great driving from Aspect. T. Smith pits off the medium tyre. Going on to the soft, so no one two-stopping then. Hijack at the inside of Aspect. Trying to go on the outside. The second part's a good overtake there from Hijack. Gets the overtake done. Great scrap here. We've got Pagani, Brutus, Hijack and Aspect nose to tail. Hijack now on the attack. Brutus on those soft tyres. He needs to get ahead, and really he's got obviously fresh rubber. He's on the softer compound. He looks at the inside there. Not quite close enough. Brutus goes a little wide though. And we're going to go side by side through the S section. There's a bit of wheel banging. Brutus holds him off. Switch back underneath though. Oh, now they're both wide. Hijack gets through, and now Aspect's coming through as well. He clears Brutus into the stadium section. City Posh now pits from P3. Hijack to the inside and we run onto one. There's a DRS, nice and easy overtake. He puts himself back up into P5. On the hard tyre. We've got Pagani versus Aspect. Aspect with the DRS though, and that's fairly easy overtake. Puts himself back up into P6. Back up to the race leader. It's Kasagi continues to lead, but my gap is now just starting to drop down a little bit. It was 4 seconds. It's come down to 3.6. Has he used the best of those tyres? Another lot. We've got a yellow flag. We've got
T. Smith.
T. Smith has gone round in the S's section. Any wing damage? Covers. No, his wing is intact. So just a little 360. Oh, he's wide there. Almost follows Danny's line into the wall. Just gets away with it. Now onto the podium, all over the back of him again. Iceman then just overtook. Oh, I think Brutus has gone round. Brutus has gone round into turn 1. Just got overtaken by Iceman, so I do wonder if there's any contact there. He's on his way again. Wing seems to be intact. 2 guys left to stop. He's one of them, so still on the tyres he started. This is Pagani, so they're both running deep. So
There's
everybody's
gaps
up
now,
down
kind of
Casa
widen
G
out a
into
bit.
the pits. So race leader pits. Coming off the soft tyre, he's going to go onto the mediums. Away he goes. He's going to return to the track in P8. P9, Panda comes through. Strategy, they were on the softer compounds, on the medium tyres. A lot of the guys ahead of him on the hards. It's going to be interesting to see where he can get up to. Brutus pits. Couple of battles on track at the moment. We've got Nexus Iceman chasing Pagani. We've got Panda and Casa G. This is full position. Panda, no defence there. Casa G gets past him. Coming into the baseball stadium. Casa G getting some clear track. That's what he needs to make use of his softer tyres. Chasing after his teammates, Pagani pits, so he's the last person to make a stop. Drops out P6. Where is he going to come out?
I think he's going to come out near onto the podium.
That will please both of them, no doubt. Casa G there with a penalty.
Oh god. He's right behind the podium. Help us.
F3 just picked up a penalty. So race leader still pushing. One final track limits. Leads by 2.3 seconds over Iron Punvayosti. We've got yellow flag. That looks like FTRL Cat has gone round.
Oh, he's lost his all wing. He's lost his all wing entirely.
Oh dear,
There's
that's
nothing
a
left.
big accident there for him. Virtual safety car is out.
Did anyone pet?
Iron Punvayosti is in, so he's trying to take advantage. Lap 1936, what time is he going to go to more mediums? He does indeed, back onto the medium tyre. Where's he going to come out? It's worked out quite nicely for him. Not losing as much time as he might well have done. He drops back out just in front of his teammate, so he's in P7. It can now go to the end, and he's not far behind Casa G. So those two now on similar strategies. We've also got IRL Neon T Smith onto the podium and Cat in the pits. There's a Cat there to replace his wing. As racing recommences. This has left us with F3 in the lead. 5.8 seconds then, so pretty much the length of time it took to swap the nose cone. That's what Danny is behind. What can he do over the next 17 laps? That gap to continue his winning streak, or is F3 about to end the streak?
Zeddy Fees went wide, I think.
He's lost a place to IRL Neon. Yeah, there's a couple of places. Panda now fighting off.
In the points.
He is indeed, so that strategy's worked out quite nicely for him. He's got quite a big gap back to Cats as well. A bit of no man's land at the moment, though, 8 seconds in front. As Cats and Neon go side by side. I am Punvayosti up the side of Panda into one. Panda holds him off. Dots in the second part gets ahead. Panda picking up a penalty for his troubles as well.
I'm not looking forward to tomorrow.
Penalty Central. Oh yeah. So lap 20 of the race. F3 continues to lead. 5.5 seconds over Danny. In turn has got 8 seconds over Aspect, so the top three quite well spread out. Iceman now, however, putting some pressure on his fellow Nexus driver. They'll expect him to have to stop again. Cats are getting at it, Howland Toms. Gets ahead, Cat's up the inside. There's a bit of a wobble. Here comes ZE3 into the mix as well. Oh, where Randy goes. Just keeps it out of the wall. ZE3 is having a big moment. Not been his day. Cat goes through. So penalty
on the back. Aspect.
Just saw a penalty there pop up for Aspect as well. We've got Aaron cheering on for the mighty Panda. Currently P7. But we know that Iceman's going to have to stop again. Brief going in the chat currently for F3 when he's leading the race, so he's not that bad, boys, is he? Come on, give him credit. This is not an easy field. This is a very closely packed field, and he currently leads the race. Let's give him some track time just to feed the trolls. So 5.5 second, the gap not coming down at the moment, so he's managing the gap well. Danny in pursuit. No pressure from behind from Aspects. He does, however, have Iceman all over him. Iceman expect to have to pit again. He's on 12 lap old mediums already. Still 14 laps to go. I don't think we'll get to the end. Looks to the inside coming into the stadium section. Makes Aspect let him have it. Not really fighting him at this stage of the race. Very close there though. Oh, this is bringing Casa G onto the back of them. He's bringing Ian Punvayosti with him as well. They're just 1.5 seconds apart. It appears we've got idiots in the chat. Brilliant. Go away, boys. Just enjoy the race. Yeah, the flag sector 3. The one
it's his podium and Brutus.
They've come together. Both of them seems to be intact. Now, Casa G onto the tail of Nexus Aspect. These two are fighting for position. We expect Iceman to have to stop, so he's going to probably drop out of this battle at some point. He's going to want to get on with it and see how much time he can make.
I'm not going to lie, I think T. Smith was in danger of being disqualified for penalties. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow. Racking them up.
When is the disqualification for penalties? When does that come?
I'm not sure. I've not seen it yet.
I've had 6 before. Last time we raced here.
Casa G and Aspect. Hijack then just picks up another penalty there. It's Casa G in DRS range of Aspect. Aspect not quite in DRS range of Iceman anymore though. So he's got no DRS himself. Casa G to the inside. And breaks into 1. Gets it done. Aspect tries to fight him but lets him go. Kasagi up into P4. Now Iron Punvayosti coming up behind them as well. So I expect it's going to be fighting a rearguard action again shortly. Kasagi is about 10 seconds off the back of Danny and F3, so I don't think this two-stop strategy has worked. We've got a yellow flag in the stadium section, which possibly like one of the Alfa Romeos, but they're on the way again. Probably with a penalty. He's certainly racked up the penalties tonight as well.
Yeah, he's got
ZD3 with a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Bad to worse for him. The McLarens get together on track. Flags it to one. We've got, is that Brutus and Cats again, is it? Or with Neon and Cats. On the way again. These two seem to have tangled again though. Yellow flags were out.
Gaps closing between F3 and Danny.
The gap is held about as you were. And Danny picks up a penalty as well. Now F3 already had one, so that's probably equal the penalty. Oh, Neon's so close to the back of Cats there as they come down the start-finish straight. Swings across in front. Kasagi takes P3 from Iceman. So I think his tyres have probably about had enough. Coming into the stadium section, and we're going to see him pit this lap. We do indeed. And bails that out, and ZE3 has been disqualified. So there's your penalty question.
One so far.
Not the race he was hoping for sure. In the background there, we've got Iron Punvayosti around the outside of Aspect into one. He takes P4. There's a podium place in front of him. Both of them have DRS.
Oh, T Smith is. Oh god.
Ooh.
He just power slided at the last corner. Oh god.
Tom Smith, Tokyo Drift. So F3 got the gap up over 6 seconds now. He's looking very comfortable at this stage of the race. Yellow flag we've got. Oh, T Smith has crashed at the first couple of corners, and that is the end of his race. So he's overheated his tyres, and that has then caught him out in the virtual safety car.
Well, F3 or Danny. Heck. They
They are not. No, or are they? No, they've gone past. They've just gone past actually the start-finish straight. So they do not get any advantage. I don't think it'll be out that long either, so they probably wouldn't. We saw Danny obviously risk it at Suzuka, and almost cost him the win. And he pitted. And he was quite comfortable in the lead. Pitted, came out of the softs, then got a penalty for speeding as he went into the pit lane, so then had to pass Brand and get away. He just managed it, so lessons learned. Resumes. The top two places looking fairly assured, barring any mistake. There is still a battle going on for the final podium place though. Kasagi and Iron Punvayosti just a second apart. Next is Aspect in the background, ready to pick up the pieces should anything happen. Of course, I do think Iron Punvayosti has a few more penalties than Kasagi. A bit of a wobble there coming out the final corner. I thought he was going to be in the pits for a second, but carries on. Still just outside of DRS range though. Keep him safe for another lap. Good battle. Yellow flags at the final corner. Who was that? Not back onto the podium's had a moment at the final couple of corners. Possibly with Brutus. These two were close together again. Race leader F3 still merrily on his way. Gap just under 5 seconds now, managing it nicely. 7 laps to go. And in that lonely race, got 5 seconds in front, 9 seconds behind. Casa G now has Iron Pumboyosti in DRS range this lap. He's closing. He's open. Goes defensive. Can he go around the outside? Cassidy's going to fight him. Squeezes him hard. Cassidy's going to fight him, but still side by side. And gets it done. And he's got DRS again, so that should keep him safe down the straight. We do think he has more penalties. So Cassidy maybe best to just let him go. And just stay close. Danny picks up another penalty there. There's definitely 2 for him now. There was a very angry man in the chat. The angriest of all men. Bo Jones. Good evening, Bo Jones. Aaron has just creamed himself.
Not again.
No, yes, again. They should get that scene too. It's a problem that many men go through. Don't feel embarrassed about talking about it. It's fine. What have we got going on? Niall, Neon and Cats continuing to battle. So we've got Iron Pumboyosti and Cats G battling as well over the final podium place, but we do think penalties, as we expected, are going to play a factor in that.
Someone just put Joe Buns to win the race.
Sissy Posh is getting on terms with Hijax for P8 at the moment. Casa G has just about lost the DRS of Iron Pumboyosti, so he's now clear in P3. With slightly fresher tyres, so he's making it work, but we do think he has quite a few more penalties, so Casa G is probably going to take that back on penalties at the end. Everybody seems to have spread out a little bit now. So after some frantic opening stages, interesting strategies, it does look like the one stop is the one to go for if you can make it work. F3 4.6 seconds in the lead. Quite comfortably so. Danny giving chasing P2, but not really taking any chunks of time out of F3's lead. So barring a mistake, you'd expect F3 to bring this one home. Two stoppers, currently third and fourth, but 9 seconds adrift the top two. Has got City Posh chasing him down still. Hijacked up 10 places, City Posh up 4, so both of them will come up into the points. Next is Iceman back where he started. He's on soft tyres though, so he's trying to chase these guys down, but 6.4 seconds. It's quite a lot to do in the final few laps of the race. And Pagani up 5 into the points, so his strategy seems to have worked out quite nicely for him. He's got a big gap behind him to IRL Neon, so barring any big issues. Looks like the Ferraris have got together on track. And IRL Neon as well, so we've got Ferraris and Mercedes battling it out. P11, 12 and 13 though, so that's not quite where they hope to be. They are now going to give us, hopefully, a good battle as everything up front is trying to spread out a little bit. In the middle of a Ferrari sandwich, that's a very dangerous place to be. Nobody knows what these two are going to do. Is there moving tyres though? On 22 lap old hard tyres, with Neon on in 13 lap old mediums. He's down the inside coming into the stadium section. Still side by side, Cat's fighting it hard and Cat trying to get involved behind him as well. Ooh, bit of a bump there. Cat switches up the inside. Panviosti with another penalty there. So Mercedes and the Ferrari come out of the final corner side by side. Cat's trying to give his teammate the toe. Both of them now have DRS. Hijack picks up a penalty. City Posh has gone past him. They've still got Nexus Iceman closing in behind them. Ferrari Mercedes battle continues. Oh, the Ferraris have touched! And off goes Cats. Oh, it's Cat's gone off. So the Ferraris touch. Coming into turn 4. It's going to be a cat fight, boys. So the Ferraris touch. Next, and it's FTRL Cat who comes off worst. So he's not had the best day. He started so well with a good qualifying and ran well early on. His race has gone a little bit backwards since then. City Posh has not got rid of Hijacked, so these two continuing to squabble. City Posh on the hard tyres. He's probably got more grip at this stage, but Hijacked sticking with him. Can he force a mistake and get that place back? Neon and Cat both pit. And going for final sprint into the race. Unfortunately they're outside of the top 10, so they will not be able to get that for fastest point for fastest lap, but they might deprive City Posh, who currently holds that, I believe. Race leader on his penultimate lap. Cap still at 4.7 seconds, so no threat from behind. He has managed this race supremely from the front. Headed in briefly into turn 1, but having taken the place back, he's led ever since. Puts a lap on the Ferrari. Starts his final lap. Turn 1, that's to go quite nicely. Go both for 2 and 3, but no penalty flashed up. I think we know Danny has a couple more penalties than him anyway, so I think he's probably safe anyway. 4 and 5 in the Paris short sprint. That's the hairpin. Down to the sweeping S section for the final time. Oh, F3 just picks up a penalty there. This is hijacked. Still chasing down City Posh. Into the stadium for the final time. And he won the opening round in spectacular fashion with a last corner, last lap overtake. This one has been much more dominant as he comes around the final corner. And F3 is your winner of the Mexican Grand Prix. FTRL Danny, his winning streak comes to an end, but P2 is a solid result for him. And Pumbayosti finishes P3 on the road. Does he stay there on track? He does not. Casa G looks focusing by half a second. So only just getting it there. Nexus Aspect is P5, Panda is P6. City Posh and Hijack nose to tail, they come across the line. City Posh jumps Panda. Penalties, Hijack's P8. Nexus Iceman jumps Hijacked on penalties. And this is out on Panda by half a second as well. Hijack certainly wrecked up the penalties there in this race. And Pagani now comes through the final corner. He will pick up the final points paying position. Still across the line, it will be Brutus. And onto the podium. Completes the finishes. So there we have it then. F3 returns to the top step of the podium. FTRL Danny's winning streak comes to an end, but only drops one step down the podium for P2, and Casa G making a welcome return to the podium in third. You have it then, F3 with the victory. 6 seconds of penalties for him. FTRL Danny P2, he had 12 seconds of penalties there, so not really much of a threat to F3 in the end. Casa G
21 6.
21, like you said, he did call it. Casa G runs off the podium with Iron Punvayosti P4 on his debut. Great effort from him. Next as Aspect comes home P5 with City Posh up 6 places into P6 ahead of FTRL Panda. Won with quite a few penalties. Next is Iceman, there were no penalties in P8. Hijack P9 and Pagani comes home in P10 and picks up the final points. So there we have it then. Mexican Grand Prix. A rather one-sided victory. Right, so I will just quickly dive out and see if I can get F3 and Danny. I don't think Casa G will have a mic. See, right, invite. where are we? Where are you, Mr. F3? Dum, 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 dum. So we'll wait for those two to join us. I'm going to assume that Kasagi will not be able to.
God, wait.
So, neither of us quite got that podium prediction right, did we? But still, nonetheless, a cracking race. Close-ish, close-ish. Right, I'm going to guess that Kasagi won't be able to join us, unfortunately. So we just got the top two tonight. So congratulations both. Coming to you, Felix. But it feels nice to return to the top step of the podium after a run of third places.
It does, it really does. I mean, I was looking really forward to this race because I love Mexico. And I really, enjoyed driving around that. I don't quite know what happened to Danny, but it felt really good around this track. And feels really good to get those 20 points on the board.
So pole position. Danny jumped you into turn one there, but obviously went a bit deep, and then after that you pretty much led it from the front to there out. So you say Mexico's a circuit you seem to enjoy. What is it about the circuit that you really like?
I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, the middle sector just feels really smooth for me. I always enjoyed it, even on the recent F1 games, like from 2015 onwards, when it's been introduced. I really enjoyed it, and onto lap 1 I didn't really want to take too many risks because I had another league race earlier on this week where I spun into turn 1 and ruined my chances for a win. That's what I didn't want to do today, so I took it a bit carefully and was lucky that Danny misjudged the braking slightly. But yeah, it's just a nice combination of sectors in my opinion. Like the S's in the middle sector, the slow part in the last sector. I just like it.
Yeah, it's got a bit of everything, hasn't it? Obviously, with Bran away, the third man in this title battle, you've really capitalised there in maximum fashion. There, obviously the pole position points as well. Does this now become just a two-horse race between yourself and Danny, or do you think Bran will be able to close in on you two, looking ahead at sort of what races are coming up? Obviously, we know you're not a fan of Azerbaijan, which is next up.
Yeah, I mean, you should never count Bran out. He's very consistent and quick most of the times, but he tends to bottle some races, especially when it comes to Azerbaijan. But yeah, I expect him to still collect some decent points every race. I don't think that it's just going to be Danny and me fighting for the championship in the end. But obviously it helps for both of us to gain some solid points on him tonight. And races like this where one of those three guys who are fighting for the championship is not there, that could really decide it in the end. So it was obviously very important for today to capitalize on that.
Yeah, well, you did that in spectacular fashion then. When you were obviously you had quite a substantial lead there after Danny obviously had to pit for a new nose cone there. How do you keep yourself focused when you've got quite such a big lead? Because you can obviously start to sort of slip up a little bit when you've not got so much pressure and you start losing time. How do you keep yourself focused when you're out front like that?
At the start of my second stint, I was really, concentrating because I didn't know that Danny had wing damage and had to fix that. So I was really focused for the first few laps until the first VSC came out, I think, and the Toro Rosso and P2 pitted. So I could finally ask Jeff for penalties on Danny's side. And then I knew he had, I think, 6 seconds at that point. I knew I was just, gotta keep it clean, gotta stay on the track within the track limits was not that easy on this track, to be honest. But I had some help in the party which kept me focused, and especially Sondre, who kept me up to date with the stream chat, where some of my mates seemed to chat something about me. So
they are friends of yours then.
Yeah, they are friends of me.
Okay, well, as long as it's in good humour, that's fine. We saw some of the comments, and it's like we've obviously had issues before. At least in this case, there it's all in good humour. Then that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, say congratulations today. Obviously, pole position and a win, maximum points taken in the hunt for the title. So congratulations. Obviously, they're looking ahead to Azerbaijan. What are your sort of goals there? It's not a circuit you enjoy, but is it just a case of survive and see where you are at the end of the race, or do you have are you targeting continue this podium streak?
Yeah, I think you summed it up really well. Just trying to survive is the biggest key through that on that track. I think there are going to be a lot of safety cars, especially through Castle. It's going to be very tense, I think. And I hope that it's just not going to be a case of pure pace in the end, but a case of consistency as well. But Azerbaijan is really tricky, especially when you run no assists and you don't have the racing line on, because you have to always, focus on the braking marker boards, which you can easily miss when you're not paying attention. So that's going to be very exhausting. But yeah, I don't think that podium streak will continue, but obviously my target is to still get some solid points and not to lose too much in the championship. But I think I prevented that loss of points quite well today, so my goal is just not to retire and get a few points on the board.
Well, you did that in superb fashion, so congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
Danny, you got P2. I take it you're probably quite happy, because I don't think you like this track particularly much, so I take it you're quite happy with this.
Oh yeah, I'm actually really happy because I popped on this track like 5 minutes before the lobby, and I was just like, this track is absolutely horrible. Like the middle sector on a pad is it's just abysmal, and I was absolutely like over the moon to get P2, to be honest.
Well, obviously you had your little incident where you lost your bit of wine, you had to pit early. If it wasn't for that, do you think you would have managed to get F3?
I'm not sure, but I feel like I would have still got a lot of penalties, so he probably would have still beaten me. But I feel if I didn't mess up there, then it could have been a bit closer. But he was all in all just faster than me today.
Well, obviously we're at the halfway point of the season now. How do you think your season has went so far? I think you're quite happy as you've won quite a few races.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. I didn't really like the tracks at the start of this season. I'm quite surprised at how well I did. But then again, I do like the tracks at the end, so I'll probably bottle those, knowing me. But we got Baku next, and I've never finished a race around there, so that can be interesting.
Oh God. Is it the castle section?
It's all of it. It's just horrible. I don't like the track. I never will.
That could make next week quite interesting as the front two don't like the track. Well, congrats on your P2, and hopefully you manage to finish it next week.
Cheers.
Well, that wraps up our coverage of Div 1. Don't forget, of course, Div 2 go at it tomorrow. See myself and Zach try and survive in similar fashion. How are we feeling, Zach?
21 seconds of penalties looks like a good optimistic chance of happening. Oh, God.
That's if you survive that long to get that many points, that many penalties.
Yeah, I know.
But we shall see. We shall see. I'm expecting much the same. If I can get around this time without getting wing damage, I'll be happy. I felt fairly comfortable last season, but this season's been different for me. I've not really been picking up wing damage this year, so it's been much improved season. So fingers crossed that streak will continue. And of course, Div 2, we've had 5 races and 5 different winners so far. So is this going to be the week we get a repeat winner, or are we going to see our 6th winner in 6 races? So yeah, so you picked up the win last time out, so well done on finally getting that one over the line. So you came close in Canada. Did you pick up any tips from Gordon Shedden yesterday?
Not really. I was kind of more off. To be perfectly honest, I was like, I'm genuinely sitting beside him.
Yes, for those who don't know, Jack did a track day yesterday with Gordon Shedden of British Touring Car and WTCR fame.
I didn't know about this. This was a bit of a surprise that Gordon Shedden was doing that in my laps with me. I was like, oh, right, cool.
So you do know his family runs the circuit, right?
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't think he was going to be there.
That's his day job. Yeah, so unfortunately, touring car drivers don't really get paid a lot these days. So a lot of them have got all the jobs, and that's his. So lucky old you, I guess. I hope you dropped him a quick. I hope you're going to tune into FTRL Wednesday. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Do you know what I didn't actually?
Oh, Zach, what is the point? If you're going to meet a famous racing driver and not promote our series, why do we even have you as an admin?
I did ask him what his favourite parts of Not Kill were and things like that, and what his worst parts are. And he said he didn't have a worst part. He just said he loved the entire track. I'm like, oh,
sick. He had one job, Zach. One job.
I know, one job. I forgot. That's me in the notes yet.
All right. Anyway, well, unfortunately, we don't think we'll have Gordon sitting in the stream tomorrow, but if you can tune in tomorrow to watch the Div 2 race, I'm sure there'll be plenty of action to keep you entertained, so do tune in for that. And then I'm off to Amsterdam, so I'm going to miss the GT Sports races this week, but Season 7 comes to penultimate rounds. Red Bull Ring and Dragon Trail Seaside. I get to miss the chicane of death, thank God. Very grateful for that. But yeah, so good luck with that, Zach. You'll need that.
Oh, don't.
Indeed. So that is it of the coverage for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for Div 2. But for now, goodbye.